Retirement anxiety is a real thing. I see this all the time, and no matter how much you've been anticipating it, retiring from your job is a major life event that's full of shifts from your identity and your purpose to your sense of belonging and your daily structure. In this video, to help you navigate a smoother transition, I'm going to share 7 tips for overcoming retirement anxiety. I'm Cyn Meyer, founder of Second Wind Movement and a life coach for older adults who are striving to live their ideal, active, healthy, and engaged retirement lives. And a big part of your ideal retirement life is finding clarity on your sense of purpose and having something to retire to. And while society helps you financially prepare for retirement, it's also a disservice because neglecting the other, in my opinion, more important aspects of what we call the 5 rings of retirement too often leads to retirement anxiety. Retirement anxiety is a very real phenomenon, and it can manifest in so many different ways. For some people, it manifests as general anxiety or worry and running those hypotheticals about the future. Often the worry is centered around finances, health, loneliness, boredom, and lack of purpose. For some, it's a super subtle void, like something is missing, that grows and grows over time. Other more established retirement anxiety symptoms can be more physical, like insomnia, headaches, and gastrointestinal issues, and maybe even changes in your sleep patterns or your appetite. And for some people, they have difficulty concentrating or maintaining focus, and others have feelings of increased irritability, frustration, and even depression. The good news is retirement anxiety can be managed and minimized with professional help and guidance and a few key steps if you're a DIYer. So here are 7 ways to overcome retirement anxiety. Number 1, pinpoint your why. This is not just relevant to your career life. If your retirement anxiety is starting to take over daily life, it's time to take a closer look at what's causing it, which you can go over the 5 main worries that I just mentioned and try to pinpoint which one resonates the most with you, and then dig deeper because the pain point can be beneath that bigger category. In fact, it is for most people. For instance, research suggests that it could even be the fear of dying. Those who perceive retirement as an end are both anxious and more depressed at the mere thought of retirement, which makes sense because that's the stigma that's presented in society when we're conditioned to think of retirement as a time to wind down and only be leisurely. Either way, when you dig deep, you'll know what's causing your retirement anxiety, and then you can start to find more direct ways to address it. I will say that after helping hundreds and engaging with thousands of older adults who are transitioning into retirement, the number 1 challenge that people face is finding clarity around your sense of purpose. If this is you, I'll leave a link below this video to our Purpose Finder workbook and video series. It's helped numerous people. The gist of it is this: if you do the inner work to connect with your passions and your purpose in retirement, which is supposed to evolve from your career identity, then you will reveal something profound that both excites you and uproots your anxiety. Once you find that clarity, with some dedicated planning, you can overcome your retirement anxiety and enjoy this next important phase of your life. Which brings us to tip number 2. Plan ahead for non-financial areas. The key to successful retirement is to take the time to plan for it both financially and mentally and emotionally. According to a pre-retirement planning study, the more that you plan your finances, health, and psychological well-being, the more retirement confidence you'll have, of course. Some questions that can help are: what kind of lifestyle do you want to maintain? How can you use your finances not just to cover your expenses, but also to support your dream life and your growth? What are your passions and purpose? Answering these questions alongside the typical what are your health concerns and financial planning can help you put your mind at ease and give you a better sense of what you can and cannot control within your retirement. This distinction is a game changer when it comes to knowing exactly where to focus your energy so you don't waste your energy on things that you cannot control. Because for many people, without the structure of a 9-to-5 job, retirement can feel like a never-ending vacation or like Groundhog's Day. To avoid this redundancy, it's super important to dig into non-financial retirement planning and to do the inner work to figure out what lights up your soul again. And I totally understand that this is not the easiest task because of society's stereotypical vision of aging, which brings us to number 3, change your perception from society's perception. If you're having a tough time shaking retirement anxiety, the linchpin very well could be change your perception of retirement. Research has shown time and again that negative perceptions of aging significantly impacts your mental health and leads to retirement depression and anxiety. So if you're finding retirement daunting, the consistent practice of reframing is going to be huge to really wire it into your brain. For instance, instead of viewing retirement as the end of something, try to see it as the beginning of a new chapter in your life, because that's truly what it is. This shift in thinking, if you practice it sufficiently, turns retirement anxiety into excitement for all the possibilities that lie ahead. Easier said than done, I get it. I coach people daily through the implementation process, but this journey can truly take you to new places and greater heights, both physically and emotionally. And I see this happen like magic for people, whether it's new hobbies, traveling to new places, or deepening their relationships. Giving yourself the chance to try new things is everything. And it's especially helpful for tip number 4, which is to redefine yourself. If you're like most people, for years, you've defined yourself by your job and or your family role. And for some people, retirement means giving up that sense of purpose and identity, which is so hard to let go of because it's been a central part of your life where you received a lot of accolades. Yet redefining and reinventing yourself is such a necessary transition to make, because if you hang on to your old identity for too long, it just prolongs your anxiety until you near a potentially more stressful identity crisis. Studies show that holding onto pre-retirement roles can lead to inertia in the not so ideal direction, and also prolonged periods of transition until an identity crisis forces you to explore your options and find a new role for yourself. Not that this is the standard case for everyone, but according to the same study, there are several possible identity paths in transitioning to retirement. And I'm gonna name 4 to help wrap your head around them. Path 1 is continuing non-work role identities and adapting your work role identity. Path 2, persisting by choice and either adapting new non-work role identities, experiencing a crisis and then adapting new identities, or continuing to persist your work role identity, which is unlikely to resolve your identity crisis. Path 3, continuing already established non-work role identities. Path 4, persisting by necessity and going through similar processes as in path number 2. All in all, no matter which way you go about it, retirement is a chance to redefine yourself and your life goals to match what's truly authentic to you, because not everyone gets to do that during their careers. Also, I just want to add, just because you're no longer working doesn't mean that you can't still find ways to be productive and contribute, especially if it's work that's tied to your passions. It's time to do things that make the authentic you happy and fulfilled without worrying about what others think. Redefining and connecting with yourself is like the best way to achieve the ideal retirement life that you want. Number 5, set new goals that align with your purpose. It's never too late to set new goals and to start working towards them. In fact, the role that goal setting plays in adjusting retirement cannot be overstated. It gives you something to look forward to, and it gives you a sense of purpose. And more importantly, it helps you transition from totally structured days to completely unstructured days, which is when a lot of people fall into that temporary rut that becomes not so temporary. If you're wondering what kind of goals to set, it's important to choose goals that are realistic, achievable, and most importantly, goals that increase your sense of purpose. Particularly when you help others and contribute by sharing your unique gifts, and sometimes your unique gifts need to be discovered and then honed, but it's 100% work that's worthwhile because it'll bring out the best in you. When you help others, you contribute your skill set and you share your unique gifts with the world, you enhance your sense of purpose and you show up in the world in a way that is so needed right now. Relevant goals are what will turn your purpose into a reality. Basically, dig into your new passions and your purpose and build a set of goals around them, which will inform your daily structure. And on that note, tip number 6 is to add structure and establish a routine. After years of working, you suddenly find yourself with a lot of free time and no clear structure to your day. Even if you have a super long to-do list and a bunch of ideas that you want to get to, procrastination and lack of motivation seep in without a proper structure to support the life that you want. To avoid having your retirement become an endless string of unproductive days with no purpose or direction, routine is going to be your best friend. It doesn't mean you need to fill every single minute with activity, but it's about scheduling in with clarity your priorities, your social activities, your time for exercise, and even your free and spontaneous time. Retirement routines are everything because they help improve your sense of meaning and purpose, your sleep quality, your mental health, and your self-discipline, just to name a few of the benefits. So whether it's setting regular appointment times for self-care, or scheduling weekly check-ins with friends or family, or taking up a new hobby that you can commit to on a regular basis, by adding some predictability and routine to your days, you'll not only feel more grounded and secure in retirement, but you'll also set yourself up with the accountability to have it all, as in your responsibilities, your contributions, work, play, social time, and the leisure time and the freedom and the spontaneity. You can have it all. It sounds counterintuitive, but the right structure will give you more freedom. And then, of course, having a set routine built around your purpose will give you a sense of accomplishment and overall life satisfaction. And that will prevent your retirement from becoming stagnant. Number 7, connect with others. Research shows that merely sharing your emotions and worries with someone that you trust can be beneficial in reducing stress, strengthening your immune system, and reducing physical and emotional distress. Not to mention, there are countless benefits of staying socially connected, especially for older adults, when it becomes less convenient to engage with other people. The plus side, though, is that you can be more intentional and selective about who you spend time with, which can make all the difference. My favorite tip in this area of community, friendships, and relationships is to distinguish between people in your circle of concern versus people in your circle of influence. So spend less time with people in your circle of concern. These are people who drain you because they tend to be negative, judgy, and gossip, and they're mainly concerned with like the news and other fear-based sources of thinking. And spend more time with people in your circle of influence. These are the people who encourage your growth and your expansion. So they want you to win and walk through challenges and change for the better. Ultimately, by sharing your retirement worries with someone else, especially those who support your innate desire to grow, you can start to take control of your anxiety and reduce loneliness and develop a more positive outlook on retirement. Easier said than done, but like all of our tips today, the more that you allow yourself to consistently chip away at this on a daily basis, I guarantee you your outer world will change. It's all about committing to that inner work first of finding clarity and then implementing the daily micro steps. By the way, we do this every day. If you want help with that, please check out our free workshop. I'll leave a link below this video in the description. It'll give you more info on our signature program, Rewire My Retirement, which successfully turns people's retirement years into their best years. Guarantee if you simply follow the daily micro steps. There's nothing more than that. To recap our 7 tips of overcoming retirement anxiety, number 1, pinpoint your why. Number 2, plan ahead, get organized and develop a retirement plan beyond finances. Number 3, change your perception. There are absolutely positive aspects of retirement to focus on and put your energy toward that are separate from society's way of thinking. Number 4, redefine yourself. You are supposed to grow and change at every life stage. This is especially important during retirement. Number 5, set new goals that support your sense of meaning and purpose. Number 6, add structure and establish a routine that supports your productive and your leisurely activities. Number 7, connect with others, specifically those who support your growth and your purpose. If you're feeling anxious about retirement, you're not alone. We are here to help you ease into this important phase of life with confidence, ease, and more importantly, purpose and passion. As always, I am rooting for you. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Every interaction that you make with this video helps us do our job better of creating helpful content for this super important audience of older adults who are striving to be their best during retirement. So thank you so much for striving to be your best. We need more people like you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.